Have you ever wondered how a single Grammy win could set off a chain reaction of envy, backstage blowups, and startling accusations among some of today's fastest rising hip-hop artists? In a world where every accolade, tweet, or even a stray comment can spiral into full-blown chaos, it often takes only one spark to set the entire rap community on fire. This is the story of how a high-profile Grammy moment pulled Nicki Minaj, Lotto, and an emerging star named Doechii into a tangled web of jealousy claims, exposed private phone calls, and near-physical confrontations. Today, we're taking a deep dive into the rumors, the tweets, the jaw-dropping revelations, and the lingering tension that still has fans arguing in comment sections everywhere. Buckle up, because once you see how deep these rivalries go, you'll never look at award shows or backstage footage the same way again. A few years back, Lotto captured the industry's attention with a series of high-energy tracks that showcased her versatility and knack for catchy hooks. Critics hailed her as one of the new faces of rap, and behind the scenes, there were whispers that she'd become the next big female star, poised for major awards and mainstream recognition. She received co-signs from various producers and found herself on collaborations with established artists who seemed eager to ride the wave of her early success. But in an industry where nearly every newcomer faces intense competition, Lotto's path wasn't as straightforward as she had hoped. Critics questioned the depth of her artistry, wondering if she could sustain a career beyond viral singles. And though her initial record sales weren't disastrous, they certainly weren't the blockbuster numbers that major labels dream about. It was during this stage, when Lotto was desperately aiming to secure a significant industry milestone, that she developed a fascination, or perhaps an obsession, with the Grammy Awards. Around the same time, Nicki Minaj remained an undeniable force. With countless hits, record-breaking chart performances, and an enormous fan base that revered her every move, Nicki stood as an icon and a gatekeeper. Many upcoming female rappers, including Lotto, saw her not just as an idol, but also as the golden standard they had to surpass in order to secure their own legacy. Yet, admiration can transform into resentment when dreams don't align with reality. As Lotto scrambled for traction, rumors began swirling that she felt overshadowed by Nicki's continued success, especially given how Nicki's influence often set the tone for the entire rap landscape. If Nicki co-signed you, it was like a winning lottery ticket. If she didn't, you could find yourself toiling on the fringes. Tensions first came to light during a series of subtle interactions on social media. Observant fans noted that Lotto would occasionally like or unlike tweets suggesting Nicki was out of touch or too old to remain relevant. Though these were minor actions, the digital footprints fueled speculation that Lotto was tired of living in Nicki's shadow and wanted her own spotlight, preferably in the form of award nominations and wins. Simultaneously, chatter about a new artist named Doechii began to pop up. While Lotto was hustling for a major Grammy nod, Doechii quietly secured a growing presence through passionate live performances and a style that mixed hip-hop, R&B, and pop elements. No one suspected that Doechii's meteoric rise would soon collide with Lotto's simmering frustrations. As whispers grew louder, so did Lotto's apparent anxiety about her own standing. She hadn't netted that coveted Grammy nod yet, and insiders claimed that behind the scenes, she was convinced one big hit plus the right endorsement could seal her fate. Little did she know that Doechii's moment in the sun would arrive much sooner, and with significantly more acclaim than anyone expected. Unmet expectations often lead to tension, and when you add towering figures like Nicki Minaj into the mix, sparks can quickly ignite into open conflict. But the first real clue of how tense things had become surfaced in a place where feuds often go viral: Twitter. For many artists, Twitter can be both a blessing and a curse. It's an instant connection to fans, but it's also a public stage where every thought, however fleeting, can be scrutinized, quoted, or spun into something sensational. Lotto learned this the hard way. When Nicki mentioned on Twitter that she believed certain tracks were getting unfair treatment regarding award categories, it wasn't just a harmless statement. She used Lotto's hit track as an example, suggesting that if Lotto's song was considered rap enough for a certain category, then Nicki's Super Freaky Girl deserved the same classification. To an outsider, Nicki's message sounded logical. Both songs had pop elements but originated as rap tracks. However, Lotto saw it differently. She perceived it as a slight against her artistry and a sign that Nicki might be subtly taking credit away from her achievements. A tense exchange ensued. Lotto replied with a cryptic tweet, something which fans immediately interpreted as a jab at Nicki. Soon, both fan bases jumped into the fray. Team Nicki insisted that she was just highlighting a double standard, while Lotto's supporters claimed Nicki was belittling a younger artist out of fear of losing relevance. Nicki is known for her blunt social media style, and she didn't disappoint here. Screenshots surfaced showing direct messages between her and Lotto discussing the situation. In those messages, Lotto seemed to initially agree that Nicki's song should have stayed in the rap category. But once Lotto made her disagreement public, Nicki fired back with tweets suggesting Lotto was two-faced. She also labeled Lotto a Karen and scratch off, mocking her stage name in the process. The feud quickly escalated, with Lotto attacking Nicki for being older and calling her a bully. Any veneer of respect that Lotto once had for Nicki appeared to vanish in a matter of hours. Fans on both sides described the exchange as messy, childish, and revealing. Those who admired Nicki's veteran status were appalled by Lotto's age-shaming, while Lotto's defenders claimed Nicki was punching down to sabotage a newcomer. As is often the case, Twitter's real firepower lies in its legions of loyal fans. Nicki's followers, famously known for their ability to organize trending topics, latched onto every perceived slight against their idol. Lotto's fanbase, though smaller, fought back with trending hashtags of their own, insisting that Nicki had enjoyed her time at the top and should support up-and-comers instead of tearing them down. The flame war raged for days, with each side digging up old interviews, cryptic tweets, and statistics to prove their point. How many albums did Lotto really sell? Was Nicki truly blackballed for awards? Is Lotto jealous of Doechii? The threads went on endlessly, turning what could have been a quick disagreement over award categories into a full-blown meltdown. The tweets were only the tip of the iceberg. Unbeknownst to fans, an even more invasive twist was brewing. A private phone call that Lotto had recorded, just in case she needed ammunition. And soon, she did. When an audio recording suddenly hit the internet, it wasn't just a random leak, it was strategic. Lotto admitted she'd kept records of a private conversation with Nicki because she knew this day would come. In the rap world, trust is often fragile. So many relationships are built on alliances that can crumble overnight. But even so, secretly recording a phone conversation with an idol-turned-rival was a bold step. The clip showcased Lotto confronting Nicki about perceived slights and double standards, all while Nicki tried to explain her stance on award categories. In fairness, there were moments where Nicki's tone was sharp, but it didn't seem too different from her usual direct manner. Lotto, on the other hand, sounded frustrated, like she was seeking validation and not getting it. Many insiders condemned the leak as a major breach of privacy. Fellow artists hinted that by exposing a private conversation, Lotto had effectively burned a bridge with Nicki, perhaps permanently. Some noted that even if Nicki was being tough or dismissive, recording her words for later use felt like a betrayal. Others argued Lotto had a right to defend herself in a climate where she constantly felt overshadowed and misunderstood. Either way, the leak fueled more drama, with fans dissecting each snippet of dialogue to find hidden barbs and potential digs at other artists. Speculation arose that Doechii's name was mentioned in the unedited version, but if it was, that portion never saw the light of day. This fueled suspicion that Lotto may have had more incriminating material she chose not to share, at least not yet. If Twitter was divided before, now it was in chaos. Some supporters viewed Lotto as a cunning strategist who'd outplayed Nicki, using the phone call to prove she wasn't delusional about Nicki's hostility. Others saw her as a desperate newcomer resorting to shady tactics, betraying a private conversation for clout. Nicki, for her part, seemed more exasperated than anything else. She posted a few cryptic comments about watching who you let in your circle and backstabbers in the industry, but didn't delve into detail, perhaps aware that any direct response might fuel further leaks. Soon, the tension spilled out of social media and onto a very public stage, the Billboard Women in Music Awards. That's where Doechii, previously a peripheral figure in this story, played a central role and ignited one of the biggest behind-the-scenes blow-ups of the year. Award shows are often hailed as glittering celebrations where artists uplift one another, at least on the surface. But behind the curtain, it's an environment pulsing with rivalries, heightened emotions, and a scramble for high-profile validation. The Billboard Women in Music Awards was no exception. On this particular evening, the spotlight was supposed to shine on women across the music industry, from legendary icons to promising newcomers. Doechii, riding a wave of successful singles and positive press, was set to receive a special honor. Lotto, likewise, was scheduled to perform and accept an award as recognition for her growing impact on the hip-hop scene. With Nicki absent, most observers assumed the tension would remain online. Little did they know just how quickly things would escalate in person. When Doechii took the stage to accept her award, she delivered a heartfelt thank you message. She praised women in the industry who had paved the way, mentioning Nicki Minaj by name as someone who'd inspired her to stay true to her lyrical roots. Her words were genuine, and the crowd responded with cheers. However, Lotto's reaction was less than enthusiastic. Those watching closely spotted Lotto shifting uncomfortably in her seat the moment Nicki's name was uttered. The tension on her face was unmistakable. It was as if an old wound had just been prodded. A few fans took to social media to point out that Lotto barely clapped, and she certainly didn't rise to her feet like many others in the audience. Polls began circulating on Twitter. Who's in the wrong, Nicki, Lotto, or Doechii? Thousands voted, but no consensus emerged. Hashtags like Team Lotto, Nicki Nation, and Doechii deserved trended sporadically, each side determined to prove their chosen artist was either a victim or a champion. It's one thing to survive a Twitter spat, it's quite another to rebuild your reputation when overshadowed by bigger stars. In the next few months, the question is whether Lotto can rise above the drama, or if her career will be defined by jealousy accusations and high-profile losses. In the grand tapestry of rap feuds, the conflict between Lotto, Doechii, and Nicki Minaj stands out because it blends old-school industry politics with new-age social media warfare. We've seen private phone calls exposed, backstage confrontations that nearly turned physical, and bitter tweets that still ripple across fan communities. Through it all, Doechii emerged a winner at the Grammys, earning accolades that many felt Lotto was chasing but never caught. Nicki, the industry veteran, remained as controversial as ever, dispensing approval to those she believed showed genuine respect and artistry. One thing is certain, fans, critics, and insiders will continue to watch every move. Every new release, every acceptance speech, every tweet has the power to reignite the flames or pave the way for reconciliation. So, is this the dawn of an even bigger feud? Or will we witness unexpected alliances and shocking about-faces down the line? That's for the future to decide. In the meantime, what do you think about this tumultuous saga? Has Lotto's jealousy and leaked phone call irreversibly damaged her standing? Or can she reclaim her narrative and emerge stronger than ever? Feel free to share your take in the comments below. And if you're still hungry for more behind-the-scenes mess, check out our next video. It might just reveal how quickly fortunes can change in an industry defined by rivalries and hidden agendas. After all, in the world of music, the next scandal is always just one hit track or one ill-timed tweet away.